Welcome back to Next Stage Podcast, everybody. We have a special episode. This is going to be promoting a local music event that's going on. It's a weekend event. It's been, is this the 6th year running?
I think this is technically the 7th.
7th year.
Yeah.
Oddstock. It's sponsored by, or put on by the Oddfellows Lodge here in Brookfield. Or was it New Milford?
New Milford
chapter.
yeah.
New Milford chapter of the Oddfellows Lodge has been hosting this. It's our little, music festival that happens every year. And a bunch of local bands, vendors, artists of all sort, and this year's organizers have primarily been Suzy and Lance. I don't know if you have specific titles or names you want me to introduce you by, but...
No.
Yeah,
Introduce yourself.
We're all kind of just like a jack of all trades in that sense,
Yeah.
I think.
Everybody kind of does everything.
Okay, so
Light
it's
the
a
fire under everybody, too,
group-
from time to time. If you
group
have to.
Yes.
needed.
Yeah.
So, tell us about Oddstock. Who wants to take the first little whack at what's going on here?
I'll let Suzy do it.
Suze, tell us what is the concept behind Oddstock Festival, what's going on this year, and just kind of give a little background for people who don't know.
Alright, well, Oddstock was started technically 8 years ago. We took last year off by a couple members of the Oddfellows Lodge because they wanted to raise money for MS and Alzheimer's. And I think it was like Steve and Jeff Gorison were two of the original starters of it, and it just kind of kept growing and growing every year. And
the Oddfellows is a local charity organization for people who
Yes.
don't know. It's kind of like one of those
it's called a fraternity.
fraternity.
It's like an Elks Lodge or
Yeah.
something along those
Oh,
lines.
our lights. We always forget that sometimes. They're real professional around here.
Oh, good job.
You
Come
as
on.
a lighting person
Come on.
will appreciate my adaptation.
There we are.
Yeah, so we get
Hello,
some
everyone.
good side light. Now we're officially starting. Let me chime in again.
Boys, I gotta
All
say,
right.
this coffee is delicious.
Welcome to the Next Stage. Welcome to the Next Stage podcast. This episode is going to be about Oddstock, up and coming, blah blah blah. If you missed that, rewind it, listen to it again. You'll get what. Yeah, in real time. Okay, so Suze was just catching us up on the history of Oddstock, and it was started. He said Jeff Gorison, Steve Miller,
Johnny Chapman had a hand in it, too.
Johnny Chapman.
It's kind of like an offshoot of the MS benefit.
Almost,
in a
yeah.
sense.
Jeff loved the MS benefit, and the MS benefit was great. I think he just wanted to have like a bigger, longer celebration
Yeah.
where you could donate even more money.
The MS
to-
benefit was great.
Yeah.
it was.
We had a lot of fun with those
Yes, we certainly
concerts
did.
over the years.
So this year, you both have been planning for this, and do we have any kind of like sneak peeks on who's going to be there, or vendors, things like that? Can you give us a little rundown of what
I've
people
been
can
working
expect?
on the last few days, actually, and thank God for Facebook letting you schedule posts, so I don't have to do everything at like in real time. But
Thank God
what I'm
for
doing
Lance
for
who
each
can
one
use
is we
Facebook.
have this like. I'm going to make posts, and it's going to have like the band's logo, a link to their Facebook page, maybe their Instagram handle, something like that, and then their band bio, all in this lovely little Oddstock themed.
So where can people check that stuff? Is there a Facebook page that's
There is.
Yes.
just for Oddstock? Is there any other links or things, or is it just go on Facebook, search Oddstock? it'll pop up?
You can also go on Instagram and search Oddstock_music_festival if you feel.
And for Facebook, it's Oddstock Charitable Music Festival. It's the
Okay,
whole
it doesn't
thing.
have to be 2019 like it's all...
No.
Okay.
No, you'll find we just created the event page the other day too. But so as time goes on, I'm gonna either do like, because we have over 35 bands or acts playing this year, so I'm gonna do the last 5 weeks, which we're in as of tomorrow. I'm just gonna do either 1 or 2 per day of each band and just kind of let everybody know what's happening. Probably 2, so that way after that we can put like a full lineup of set times.
So it'd
Just
be
to
like highlighting?
Yeah.
Kind of like hyping up.
A couple
you
of
know?
featured artists, if you will, because I want to get people like, maybe you haven't heard of them, maybe you check them out, maybe you really like them. Now you have time to learn the words to their songs and stuff before you see them. So.
Please do, and sing
Yes.
as loud as you can.
Yes.
There's one pretty new one. The girl from the band played last year, and she was killer. And her band's name is Mega Mango.
Yeah,
Mega
they're-
Mango.
Actually,
Yes.
Is that what's in your Jewel right now? Jewel Bob, Mega Mango?
Jewel. Mega
Is her name Megan? That would be cool.
That 25-cent check in the mail, Jewel. Thank you.
Like,
She really liked Mega Man.
do you remember what her name name was?
Mega Man Go. That's what it's really
If
called.
they do a cover, like
Mega Man Go.
that'd be sweet. But
She played by herself last time we had it, and she brought like a busload of friends. Mm-hmm. And she's young. She's like in a freshman
Oh,
college.
okay, I remember that girl. Yeah.
I'm trying to blank on the name because
I don't remember her name either, but I was
She's
actually
like friends with Ethan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was making their promo last night. And I was checking out the videos, like, wow, these kids are good.
Yeah.
Cool.
so I'm excited for that one.
Nice.
So what is the kind of feel of this whole event, just for people who haven't been and want to know what to expect? When does it start? When does it end? What's the the kind of details?
So
of
it's going to kick
what you're
off on
walking into?
Friday at 2 p.m. And the music's going to go all the way until probably, well, including the open jam, probably like 4 or 5 in the morning on
Is that
Saturday.
including the campfire?
Yes.
Feel free to jam. Bring an accordion if you like. Bring a banjo.
Yeah.
So this is at the Oddfellows Lodge. They've got a main building, then they've got a big yard in the
Yep.
back. So there's
Nice
people camp, right?
Yeah, and as of
Camping.
2017, we built an outdoor stage, a permanent one, and we ran power out because, Queen Anne's Revenge found out the hard way that generators aren't always reliable. And the
Especially
2015 set.
Especially when the guy who's on staff decides to turn the AC on his generator.
Why, Suzy, are you talking about Richie Northrup?
So it's a 3-day music festival.
Well, it's 2 days this year.
2 days.
this
Yeah.
year, yeah.
Sunday's kind of like the chill and clean up
Yeah,
day.
okay.
Which will still be, but we're not going to
Yeah.
put
So
it on
it's Friday night, Friday evening, Friday night.
Friday day, too. We're starting at 2 p.m.
Starting at 2 p.m.
Yes.
Friday, going through Friday night into whenever people collapse, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
And then Saturday, does Saturday start at 2 again, or does Saturday start earlier?
Saturday starts at noon.
Starts at noon. Saturday goes until, again, the arbitrary when people stop doing things time.
Yeah.
Right? And so people can either come for one day or the whole weekend. How's the breakout
They can
work?
come for a night as well, too.
Yes.
If they just want to see somebody like, I don't know, Zombies playing on Friday night and the indoor stage, because it's a little bit heavier, the music on the indoor stage on Friday. But if you just want to come for the night, see the indoor stage, it's $5.
So what are the costs
Can't
for...
beat that.
No, you
You
can't.
know,
$10 for a day.
$10 a
$5
day.
for an evening.
And
$5 for
25
evening.
for camping.
Yeah.
25 for camping for the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, and that includes everything as well.
$25,
Yeah.
people. Come
That's
on.
nothing.
Yeah.
For 2 days of music. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
It's donating
Yeah,
to
yeah.
a great
For
cause.
charity.
It is a great cause, too. I mean,
Yes, it
you
is.
can make a larger donation if you want. Like, we urge people to donate whatever they can
No problem with that.
afford or however they feel to, but
Well,
it
that's the
all
whole
it all
point of
goes
No,
to
thank you.
charity.
We've got enough money.
Sorry, guys. Hey.
No, that's the whole point.
Our
of keeping
donation
it-
jar's full. I wish we could fit more in it.
Sir, take your $5 and change.
Maybe you can take some out, then you can put it back
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
It's kind of the point of keeping the price though so low is because I know in the past years the prices kept going up and up and up and like people stopped being able to come.
Yeah.
And so
We did have certain costs, though, but I
yes,
mean,
there are costs.
yeah, we don't want to be off-putting. We want to tell, because the way we figure it, I mean, we all said, like, look, if we make it cheaper and more people show up, we're going to get the same amount of money anyway, so we might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'll in turn shop at some of the vendors, they'll buy from the food truck, they'll do whatever.
So you guys are having a food truck as
Yeah.
well?
Yes,
Okay.
Roxanne's.
Oh, nice.
She
Yeah,
makes
what kind
hot
of food do they
dogs,
bring?
tacos, she
Yeah,
makes
that's
everything, and they're
very,
it's
very
superb.
It is.
So there's on-site food, so people
Yep.
don't have to worry about, leaving and getting their own food. You can get
Yes.
food on-site.
Some of the brothers from the Oddfellows will also be cooking burgers and dogs too that you can buy for a very, very
There's also a
low
liquor
fee.
Yeah.
store right
Yes,
next
there's a
around
liquor
the
store
corner.
right next door.
Bring your own
Acorns.
booze, but if you're underage, we will find you.
Yes.
Yes.
And, we will.
And there's also very important. There are bathrooms available,
Yes.
so
Yes.
everybody you don't have to go in the woods and wipe with poison ivy. And
Some
have a
people
very
don't
itchy
mind.
morning.
Some people, it would seem, prefer to go to the bathroom in the woods. But we would advise
Again, we will
against-
catch you.
Yes.
We'll catch you.
We
Whatever you're
encourage them
doing in the
not-
woods.
Tom's
We
on
also-
security this year.
Oh
Nice,
god.
okay.
If you want to go into the river, that's kind of free territory. open
People
waters.
did last year. There's a couple of people. I think they were from out of town, but they were definitely swimming in
Oh, ooh.
the most stagnant tributary of the Houstonic River.
That's also something we don't recommend.
It was a sight to behold.
Yeah. So who was beholding it?
I didn't see it last year. I know someone a chair.
Sounds like a lot of
in the river.
hearsay.
Yeah.
Norwegian
Like
River Cats.
yeah, Norwegian river
Actually,
cats.
if you want an honest opinion, during the day for Oddstock last
I'd like
year,
a fake opinion, a little fake news to just kind of
before
spruce up the
it started
ratings.
on Friday, somebody was swimming, but somebody had brought some baby goats in the parking lot. And now goats, being the herd animals that they are, especially since they were little tiny kids, like the little baby goats,
Yeah.
they get upset when people leave the pack. And one of the baby goats saw somebody off in the distance.
identify this is part of my pack.
Yeah, and like kind of trotted off, and he was just like, ah, 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 which translates loosely to "please come back."
Yeah. So the goat.
That's goat.
The
for-
goat called out the person in the
Yep.
river, and if that person were struggling, that goat would have been a hero.
Yeah.
Yes.
Could have been a hero goat.
The
So
greatest
here-
of all time.
Yeah.
But without giving too much away, we do have other animal-involved things this year that
Yes.
are going to be a lot of fun.
I'm so excited for
Is there
that.
like a reptile
No.
exhibit where you can
No.
hold snakes around your neck? And
No. We
Wall
have...
snakes are cool. No, that is.
what about
not.
falconeering?
those.
And
You can't tell. You guys are going to have to stay tuned on the Facebook page and the Instagram.
Yes.
And
Okay,
find
so
out
you're
soon
not going
enough.
to give us anything here.
Well, actually, this one was already posted. So we have
Yes,
a.
puppies and kittens.
Puppies and
Yeah,
kittens.
a great charity called Because for Paws. It's a puppy adoption
Okay.
nonprofit.
kittens.
Yeah, so they're gonna
That's great.
bring puppies and kittens, and you can come sit with
Oh,
them and play with them. And
man.
yeah.
I
How
think
many
they'll-
people are going to get guilty and adopt animals?
Oh, I hope all of them. They
I
can
might
find
be
their
one of them.
forever home. Get it? Forever.
It's going to be so hard not to
forever
take all the
home.
kittens
Yeah.
home for me.
It's a great cause. We before we got Dino, we were looking at them, and they had some pretty good ones too. But
So what do you guys hope Oddstock does for this local area, the local community, musicians, artists, all involved? Like, what do you hope this does?
We kind of wanted to bring everyone together.
Yeah.
It's a lot of, in the past couple of years, things have been splitting apart. People like get mad at each other, feuds happen, and it's usually over something stupid.
Yep.
And we just want to kind of bring everybody together first, and like let people know that there's a great place that you can rent, but it's also getting newer bands out there seen. Like, we have a lot of newer bands this year.
for sure. And for me, it's just about letting everybody know that like the music scene in this area has some studs, man, some stone cold,
yeah.
just badass rock and roll. But a lot of people like either for some reason or another the bands don't know each other, so they never quite kind of link up or anything like that. But
Kind of gets
and
people
it's a great
together.
cause. Again, it's all for the charity. At the end of the day, the bottom line is like we want to help multiple sclerosis and Alzheimer's research, and what better way to do it than to have a music festival that's great for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and it kind of brings, as you said, the community together, gets people together for a common thing, and also get to have a good time while they're at it. So in terms of vendors, and I guess bands too, but how do people get involved if they want to? Maybe not for this year, but next year, if people want to be, vendors or bands to apply, is there like a submission process, an application process?
There is. I mean, it's nothing crazy. Like you're not going to have to fill out like half a dozen forms. Just you can contact. You can contact us either
Little
on
DNA sample.
Yes.
You can either
23andMe proof.
You can contact us on Facebook, on Instagram. If somebody sees this, feel free to contact one of these two fellas, and they'll get you in touch with us. We're always looking for new things. I mean, whatever you sell, whether you're selling mittens or doormats or
Kitten mittens?
Well, listen,
Kitten mins are welcome.
we have the cheapest fee for somebody to rent a booth at a festival. I
Yeah.
think on the planet it's $25 for the entire weekend. So
Wow.
if you sell like
Same as the
necklaces-
tickets.
Pretty
Yeah.
much low overhead, I would
If
say.
you sell like 2 necklaces, if you deal jewelry, you made your money back.
Yeah.
Plus, you
Deal
get to enjoy
jewelry,
some
like it's
awesome
like
music.
you got a trench coat. Dealing jewelry, man.
Hey buddy, want to
I believe
buy?
I've seen that at a couple festivals.
Got
to be
some
honest.
Folex watches here.
Hey buddy, want to buy some puka shells? But no, I mean,
How
listen,
about some glow sticks?
plus you also get to sit there and enjoy music.
Both,
and like,
please.
the only thing I would tell them to beware of is there are going to be puppies and kittens there. So if you want to sell things, you're going to have to stay at your booth for at least half the time, I would assume.
Yes.
All bands, if you guys have merch, you're welcome to set up a merch booth.
Yeah, we'll have
That's
like
great,
8
too.
tables
Yeah.
set up that all the bands can set
Yeah.
up their merch if they have it.
And do we say the date on this?
Yeah, what are the dates?
It is August 23rd and 24th, 2019 at the Oddfellows / Good Shepherd's Lodge in New Milford, which is
Month
right
and
next...
change away.
Sorry?
Month and change away.
Month and change away. It's
Yep.
going to be a month and a week, so 5 weeks tomorrow.
Okay.
And you'll
And-
see maybe a little Facebook post that acknowledges that.
And it is right near the cookhouse, if anyone's familiar with that. So
That's
that's
right next
another
door,
option
yeah.
if you are, for whatever reason, aren't interested in the food truck. Cookhouse is right there.
Yeah.
It's a pizza
Walk.
place, brick house right
Yeah.
down the road too.
Which is also right next
You
to the
got
big
gas
house, yeah.
stations there
Yeah.
right across
Yeah.
the street. I mean, it's really like
It's
good
convenient. It's a
location.
convenient
It's
area.
really
great. I mean,
convenient.
like somebody's gone to a lot of festivals and
Yeah.
dealt with like really bad situations at festivals, just overcrowded bathrooms and all that. I mean,
Why did I buy that ticket to Firefest? Damn you, Ja Rule!
it looks so good. No, but it's really.
Yeah.
I mean, as somebody who's not only been playing at this festival,
Yeah.
but have attended, It's always been a lot of fun, and I'm happy that you guys are getting this back. And
I'm
you know,
so excited.
We wanted to, man.
Yeah.
My favorite part was like when the first time it started off. I think we played Queen Anne's Revenge on that Sunday, but like the 3 bands before us failed, and there was
that's
like
when I was playing bass.
Jesse was playing bass.
I was on the truck, right? The bed. Of the truck. That was the stage.
I mean, it was fun,
I
but
was
like.
not a part of it yet. That.
And then 2 years later, like I found myself in charge of like decorating the outside stage, which I loved.
Are you gonna do that this year?
Yeah.
I like
other
that.
Things, yeah.
I
It was
mean,
like
I
a
started
very-
out
Well,
just,
Jay puts the plants there, so which
Yes.
is key. But like, I have all these cool ideas, and like as I'm like, okay,
Jay Meadowbrook.
yeah,
Shout out.
Meadowbrook.
Yes.
He-
Meadowbrook is awesome because they donate the plants.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
help
and
us out a
that's
lot.
a lot of money.
Yes.
Coming
And
from a
do-
gardener,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
a lot of money for those plants.
And donors, we will mention you. We will give you guys a shout
Hearts, lungs, whatever you want to donate.
But you got to stay tuned on our social
As
media.
long as you have a little heart in your license, you can give whatever organ you want
Yes.
to the
Yeah.
Oddfellows Lodge.
We'll also be doing a little radio spot on WXCI, courtesy of Joe Russo and Music in Your Shoes. Which is
Nice.
terrific.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Cool.
Very good.
Make sure you shout us out on there too,
Absolutely will.
because
We
need the cross promotion.
Well, you guys are going to be there, right?
What?
The podcast,
Where?
Oddstock.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
of course you will then.
But I'm saying when you go
On
on
the radio.
WXCI.
Well, everybody's going to mention.
Yeah. Well, just mention that you were on this really
told
cool
me-
podcast.
He told me 45
Blowing
seconds.
up.
Not like we're trying to steal any like listeners or anything.
I didn't realize.
Listen, man, this is why we're doing this.
Listen, I didn't realize how long 45 seconds was. I mean, for a song, it's like literally like a blip. But like
Yeah.
for an ad, I like,
Unless you're napalm deaf,
Yeah.
then you've got like a 1 second
I wrote
song.
3 solid pages worth of stuff. I'm like, oh, that had to have been a minute and a half. I'm gonna have to cut something. I was like, oh, 22 seconds.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Goes by quick.
everybody will get mentioned. Everybody will get thanked. I mean, obviously, if we launched the radio ad before you were included, then you probably won't be on it.
Who are some of the bands we got?
Well,
Is that official? Can we announce? Is that,
We have
is
some
that-
of them?
we can
is that-
announce
is that
some-
part of the
we can
teasing
tease them.
Yeah,
process?
I got a few I want to talk about. One, there was this gem. So I played in my punk band. I played a show at Cherry Street Station a few weeks ago. A couple months ago, this random punk band from Massachusetts reached out and they're like, "Hey, would you guys be interested in the Sharon and Bill at Cherry Street?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And he was like, "Oh man, you got back really quick. Thank you. Like I usually don't hear from people for like days." They're called
That's
Power
weird.
Up, PWRUP.
Oh, I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, and man, these kids came out of nowhere. It was last minute, like me shuffling things around to fit them in, but they are just awesome. It's like a coalescence of like Mephistopheles style ska, some like late 80s, early 90s hardcore punk. Like they're just talented as crap. And the lead singer, like there's 4 kids in that band who are all talented enough to be a lead singer. And
Yeah.
the singer sometimes plays a
Tuba.
trombone. Trombone.
Surprisingly
I usually say tuba, and then I gotta go like we're up trombone. Okay. But yeah, they're awesome.
hand
So
one.
they're coming down from Massachusetts. Gonna bring some cats to see them on the night stage on Friday.
That's great. Like that out of town bands come to
Yeah.
this thing because
Yes.
it gives that like cross
Well,
pollination.
we got Strange Bird returning. And,
They come
they
from
were
the city
awesome.
every
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
and it's
from
they
the
don't-
city.
They don't play a whole lot like together,
I like
but
them a lot.
they will
Yeah.
come
The
guy,
together
those
for-
2 little
yes.
amps
Yeah.
like split out, and
Yep.
it's him and a drummer. I thought they did a great job with that.
They're awesome too,
minimal
man.
They
sound.
really did.
They click. You can tell that they're both on the same page musically, on the same like wavelength, and it's just
Yeah.
a blast to watch. I mean, I don't want to give away everybody, but obviously,
To say, I know on Saturday night, Jeff Gorison's going to be hosting Saturday Night Stage, and he's doing this whole like
don't give away a
homage
special
to.
guest.
I'm just saying, he's doing a whole homage.
It's Bill Murray. Don't worry.
It's actually Slash. All you have to do is send him an email, and he'll show up.
That would be
$20.
amazing, actually. But no, he's doing an homage to Cousin Larry's.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's kind of all I'm going to say on that one.
All right.
So that's.
We might be able to find some guests at this thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Me and Jesse were in a band a long time ago called Queen Anne's Revenge. That is becoming a thing again, so we're going to be playing Saturday.
Reformed?
Yeah,
It's
reformed.
like, it's
Again.
like a Power Rangers thing.
Yeah.
Like just reassemble to create the Megazord.
It's
Joe had a
it's
pretty
like
clever
brand.
name for us on an Instagram post, but we're going to stick with Queen Anne's Revenge, I think.
Uh-oh. I don't know about that one.
You could say it.
Yeah, it was Mike Schwartz and the Piece of Shits.
Wow.
It was terrific. Well, we came back in from a vape
It would be
break.
pieces of, but okay.
We
yeah,
came
there's
back in from a
Or unless you're a piece of multiple ones. I don't know how that conglomerate works.
Well, we had come back inside from practicing from a vape break because we're all in our 30s now and we don't smoke cigarettes anymore. And like, I don't know, I think I got behind Joe's guitar and Jesse was on the drums. We were just messing around, and then Mike just ran up and started singing. So Joe filmed it. That's what friends do.
Yeah.
And
They film your accomplishments and celebrate them.
the brightest
Social
flames
media.
burn the shortest, though, I tell you. It's over. It was a hell of a run we had that 5 second.
So are we doing our concert thing now?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
let's do it. So yeah, that's
In celebration of Oddstock, or in preparation for Oddstock, we decided that we're going to share a 4-way top 5 list where we go, where we talk about our top 5 concerts that we have been to. And obviously Oddstock's at the top of all of our lists, so it's
Obviously.
really a
Of
top
course, should be.
4. But anyway.
Really?
I was gonna say, that is an impossible
I mean, I like the
question for
festival.
me.
I didn't say top 5 best concerts.
Wait, you
not
wrote
good.
the list down? I just kept it in my brain.
top 5 most disappointing
I
concerts.
couldn't make a
Well,
list.
this is kind of our thing. So
I'm just shuffling papers to look important.
I don't know if you're familiar
Actually,
with
don't have anything
high
here. It's
fidelity,
just all-
the top 5s, you know.
Scott's upset.
But this
I wish
is.
I
I
My
threw
man
away
here
2
with me.
perfectly good lists to make this list.
I can finally see your list.
Oh, you better not read it out loud.
All right, well, who's going first? Should we
Who's
go
going
like rock,
first?
paper, scissors for it?
I say
The
ladies
guests
first.
should
Okay.
go first.
Um,
In that case, gladly share.
Scott and Susie, you're up.
okay, so I don't actually have a list. That's kind of an impossible question for me.
Okay, Scott, you're up.
Okay.
Well,
Well, you can come up with something.
So Susie,
Memorable.
I
Susie
have-
works at the Ridgefield Playhouse.
Probably the
and she
ones
gets
that
to
come to
see-
your mind are going to be the most memorable.
yes,
so
that's
like,
kind of how it
by
works for me.
nature,
Because like I
yeah.
started out like almost 10 years ago doing concert security, and then I do concert lighting. So I've been to thousands, literally. But,
almost too many.
Yes.
Enough
Do they like
concerts.
lose their allure?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh man, that's
Because you get to see like what goes into like
Yeah.
these.
Well,
come
but
on.
that's the thing. That's why
it
for
lost
me.
the allure for me. I worked one concert as security once, and I was put in the cigarette pit
Oh,
outside for Willie Nelson.
oh. Wait,
And
was
I'm
this
like,
wait,
Go to see Willie, man.
Willie! Like I couldn't see
that's
him.
actually the first concert I ever worked security for. It was
Take
Willie
my
Nelson's
cassette
at
tape.
Pleasant Park.
That must be how they break people into the music industry.
I
on the
mean, kind
concert side. Hey,
It-
got a Willie show coming up.
And the girl
How'd you-
I was
how'd
with
you
at the
get your
time
big
got to
break?
see everything.
Oh, I had a blast for
Yeah.
mine. I was
like, like, you need to go down to
That's
the
actually-
cigarette pit. I'm like, are you
that's
kidding
one of
me?
my top
It's a good
ones too,
band name,
actually.
Cigarette Pit.
Yeah, absolutely.
How'd you get your big break? Well, I was working a Willie
a
Nelson
Willie Nelson
concert and a
cigarette
cigarette. You know how that goes.
So the first time I ever it was a Willie Nelson concert at Ives, and that was one of my favorites because I was stationed on the VIP area, so I could see. I was side stage basically, separating the VIPs from the dressing rooms. And the whole night, this one guy is like, "Come out in my boat, come out in my boat."
He took a boat to the concert? Where was this concert?
Was it Willie Nelson though?
Was it in the moat at the Ives Center? He's just
Yes,
going back
that's
and forth?
exactly.
Willie definitely has a
A
canoe.
motorboat?
But no, so like
So how you get away from the river cats?
one of
Was
Willie
it made of
Nelson's-
hemp?
One of his band members, like I think it was like the bass player, just comes up to me and like stands next to me and starts talking to me. He's like, "Look, I know this guy's been bothering you, so I'm gonna stand here and talking to you until I have to go on stage."
Yeah. Oh,
And it was
bass
just
player
cool
protection.
show.
See,
Like,
bass players are the best.
That was Willie's bass player?
yeah, I think it was bass. I'm not positive.
Well, in Willie's band.
Yes, it was. He was
Good
in
choice,
Willie's-
Willie.
Yes.
He had a bass player vibe.
Stand up, fella.
Okay, so
Stand-up
Willie
bass.
Nelson at Ives
Get it.
Center.
Yes.
You got
So
it.
that's one of my favorites.
We'll call that 5 for you.
Yeah.
Graham Nash.
Okay, well, we're gonna go.
Yeah, we
with
go
another-
Oh, we're going on? Okay.
Well, square
So I'll
table
wait.
discussion.
Okay.
But, yeah, you got another one good. It's
Okay.
All right. I will do my number 5. It was Metallica, the Summer Sanitarium Tour in 2003. Now, I say Metallica because it was the Summer Sanitarium Tour, so unfortunately I had to sit through Fred Durst, and he was singing
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
singing Behind Blue Eyes, solo, like walked behind the stage where nobody was sitting in the that rows
Yeah.
in giant stadium, and he's sitting there like sulking by himself, singing that
pitch
song.
correct
I'm
as
like, so it was a Metallica show as far
Yeah,
as
that's a
I'm
great
concerned.
song to begin with. Mm.
But yeah, sometimes two negatives make a positive. No, not in this case. You got a bad song and a bad delivery. It's just all bad. But anyway, Metallica. I was in high school huge into Metallica, and seeing them live was amazing at that time of my life. And seeing an entire stadium of people just singing along, and right next to me was this guy with like the long kind of scraggly hair, the cut off jean vest, and he was just like air guitaring to every song. I was headbanging with him. Like, that's that's the guy you want next to you at a Metallica concert.
Yeah.
Seems like he knew like every song, note for note. Was just like, yeah. I'm like, this is the best.
What kind of strings did he have on the air guitar?
He had I don't know. I didn't ask him what gauge he was using.
Imaginary Ernie Ball.
Yeah,
That's cool.
It was silly string actually. It was silly string. So that was my number 5, Metallica.
Okay. Nice.
Because I have to put Metallica on all of these lists.
Yeah,
apparently.
really.
We're coming to find out.
War was the summer.
I think everyone had. Okay.
The summer.
The summer one, I took a break. Yeah.
Metallica doesn't really. Metallica in the summer. Yeah. All right. My number 5 is a concert that me and you just went to in the city at Bowery Ballroom. All Them Witches and Plague Vendor.
That was an amazing show.
This was kind of a show for me that like gave me like, I don't know, just it was good for music. I thought like we're still seeing rock and roll bands come out and like still seeing these guys performing original rock music and like stoner rock music too, which was
And not just cliche rock. It was
Right.
like new, innovative in their own way, and it felt good to be at a place where you're close.
Yeah, it gave me hope. For music.
That's what you need.
To see like these bands, you know, that are kind of, you know, they're on the cusp of getting their own fame and fortune, I think. But
who knows about fortune? But maybe
they'll just be comfortable. You know, that's all I hope for.
We hope Plague Vendor and All Them Witches have a lot of fame and fortune.
Yes.
So they can start, you know.
We also want them on the podcast.
Turning the tides.
We actually had the pleasure of meeting Plague Vendor that night. They're doing big things. They just got some radio play out in Los Angeles. So it's cool. Definitely check out All Them Witches or Plague Vendor.
Or both.
Yeah,
if you have the opportunity.
Great bands.
I like that band name. All Those Witches.
All Them Witches.
All Those Witches.
Yeah, they're really cool. So heavy stoner rock stuff.
Nice.
Number 5, Mr.
Number
Mr.
5 was definitely, what year was it? Probably 2004. My buddy Billy had moved to Philadelphia, and he was in a band called Pawn Shop Roses, who they got like a real like Black Crowes twang to them.
I remember them.
Which was awesome. They were awesome. But he was like, man, you got to come to this show with me. Like, he snuck me into the Grape, which is an old music venue in Manayunk, Pennsylvania, which is like a
couldn't be that old. It'd be called The Wine.
Yeah. That was a good one, actually. But he's like, you got to hear this band we're playing with. They're called Jealousy Curve. Now, you know how much I love that band.
Yes.
And they got some notoriety for themselves. They went on a national tour with the Academy Is. They opened up for Stone Temple Pilots. Like, they do everything DIY. They don't have a manager. They record their own stuff. They promote their own stuff. But like, the first time I heard them, because I was listening to like back then, like my musical taste was kind of basic. It was like either Beatles, 311, or Green Day. Basic. Emphasis on Green Day. And I heard them, and they're kind of like a Radiohead-ish sort of. I don't know. They were like just really good, really eclectic, in like alternative. But I loved them.
Alternative to alternative?
Kind of, yeah. They were the alternative. To alternative.
If you listen, it does make sense.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Check them out. They're called
Kurt Cobain said, alternative to what?
well, Kurt. But no, that show changed my fucking life. Like, honestly, that was the one where it was like, okay, like, yep, I'm gonna be a musician and I'm gonna try to be really good at it, because their lead singer, Mike Levy, just has the most. He's one of those dudes though, like that. No matter what instrument he's playing, he's probably better than you are at it, just because he's got that talent, you know.
I hate those guys.
Yeah, I know.
Inspirational show.
I think I'm getting like, oh man, I hit that note the other day, and I see his new song. I'm like, oh, all right, never mind.
Not that note.
Yeah, so that's my number 5.
Cool.
All right, Suze, number 4. Counting down the list.
Number 4. Probably the first concert I ever went to. I can't remember year.
I thought you were going to say can't remember the band.
No, can't remember.
But it was a concert.
It was a good parking lot.
I can't remember the year. But no, it was Dropkick Murphys around St. Patty's Day in Boston.
Wow.
Jeez. Surprising. That's allowed.
I don't remember. I think I was like...
Was this like 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Like,
no, I had
ballpark
to have been like 15 or 16.
Okay.
So almost more than 10 years ago.
Yeah. So puts us in that early 2000s vintage.
But my friend's mom brought us, and we were staying in a hotel, and it was just like we were way, way up in the balcony. But like, so we couldn't, everything was like tiny.
Yeah.
But I just kind of like, it was a weird moment for me because I remember seeing it. I remember seeing the lights. I remember seeing the crowd and the people. And then, like, it was kind of a moment I was like, dude, I want to work in this industry.
Yeah.
Like
An inspiration again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that got you the bug of like, this is a really cool environment.
Yeah.
Was that an important text?
Yes. Oddstock related, as a matter of fact.
Read it out loud.
It's an Oddstock related.
Read it in front of the class, okay? You got caught passing notes.
It was I could go away.
We don't care about your festival.
You want me to send the logo through here, or would you rather I emailed it? It's for a band
Say
that
through
has
here.
not been disclosed yet.
Tell them to send it by passenger pigeon.
But if you mind the Facebook, then you'll find out very soon
Yes.
what band
Mind
it
the
is.
Facebook.
Keep it on it.
Mind your
Keep watching
Facebook,
it.
boy.
All right,
Like a
my
fan.
number 4. I know it's a bit steamy. down
Everybody
here.
just stop breathing with their mouth.
I had like a big
keep
handmade in
vaping.
my purse and I've left it in my car.
Drink more of this coffee. It's terrific.
Alright, well, I'm almost out
I'll
of
give you a
one,
symbol
so-
you can fan yourself with.
All right.
My number 4,
Yeah.
The Darkness.
Nice.
Oh.
And I can't decide between which one, but so the most recent one I saw was 2018, last year. It was actually right before the night before the fundraiser for Oddstock last year that I played, which Oddstock didn't happen, but it was the night before. I went down to Philly, Pennsylvania with my brother, went to see The Darkness, and what I was so struck by is how incredibly like performance oriented they are. Like, they are a band that loves doing what they're doing. The theatrics are there, and the crowd interaction, and it's just like anything you want a rock and roll band to be, they are. They've got excellent sound, great tone with their instruments, incredible frontman and singer, but you get the fun and goofiness of rock and roll, which is always in there from the beginning. Like Chuck Berry was always a little tongue-in-cheek, you know? And they took that to the next level, but you felt like you were at a show where they cared about their audience and cared that you were there.
Well, they believe in a thing called love.
They do. Because they had their big rise to the top of that hit, and then a bunch of drugs and problems, and they just disintegrated. But then they got their second revival, and it's like the true fans who go out to see them love what they do. So I feel like they are just so appreciative and like love playing rock, and it comes through in such a way that I don't see very many bands where I feel like they're genuinely like excited about what they're doing, but also like really involving the audience and talking to people, and it just created that breaking the fourth wall, which I love when a band doesn't have this come here and worship upon our altar. Like, they're taking the piss out of themselves while they're doing it. So it was an amazing show, and I've seen them a few times, but I would just want to say the last one because it was the most recent one.
Hell yeah.
That's my number 4, and great band to see live if you ever get a chance. It's a fun band, and rock and roll should be fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think.
My number 4, Lettuce and Soul Live at and Roy Hargrove, who's an amazing trumpet player, at Terminal 5 in the city.
Nice.
This was years ago. I don't know the exact date, but I also have kind of like a conflict of like this show and another Lettuce Soul Live show that I actually got to go backstage at the Brooklyn Bowl. I don't know if you've ever been to the Brooklyn Bowl, but it's a bowling alley and a music venue, and it's one of the coolest venues.
That's kind of awesome,
ever.
actually.
It's so awesome.
So the bowl is very literal.
Yes.
It's not like the Hollywood Bowl.
And-
There's no
and
bowling involved.
I think it's a double
hear the
entendre,
bowling
right?
alley. It's really weird. It's like spaced off from the stage. Like it's a big place. It's like a big warehouse. But I was actually some girl that I was hanging out with that time that I went to the concert with. She used to date the drummer of Lettuce, and she was like, "Oh, like yeah, you can come back to like the VIP room afterwards." I'm like, "What? Like, are you serious?" So I'm back there and I'm like hanging out with like all of my idols at the time. Like these are
Trying to seem bored, like, I wish it was somewhere else.
Oh no, I was like, oh my god, dude, like, hey, what's up? And I'm like talking to them, like being a total fan. And after that, I actually went in the drummer's car with he has another band called Break Science, and they showed us like this song that they hadn't released yet, and they wanted opinions on their album. And then we went back to his luxury apartment in Brooklyn and hung out there until wee hours in the morning. So I like had like an incredible experience with like some of the idols that I was
That's
Would you
awesome.
call it an intimate experience?
Yeah, I mean,
Hanging out with someone's
no
band.
funny business, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good one. Your number 4.
My number 4 is I don't remember the year, but an ex-girlfriend of mine, her father used to be the road manager for Styx, so he got us backstage passes when Styx played with Boston at Mohegan.
Wow.
And that was right before Brad Delph, unfortunately, took his own life. So it was Brad, like the original lead singer and the original guitar player, like the one who invented like distortion on guitars in Boston.
Wait, that was the Kinks.
No, well, okay, yeah. Well, okay, like the distortion box pedal thing.
The stomp box.
Yeah, he went to MIT, so he built it himself. Plus, like they had the Hammond B3 there, like.
Yeah, I guess the Kinks had a razor blade.
Yeah. Sorry, speaker. But yeah, it was just everything you'd expect Boston to be, just louder than you can even possibly imagine, and it was just amazing.
Yeah,
because like I grew up listening to that stuff, man. Yeah, dude, it was. And Styx was great too. I mean, they were just like old school, like rock and roll, like no gimmicks or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just like tight, loud, and awesome.
Cool. That's a hard to beat lineup.
It was. They had. I think there was another band there, but I don't remember. So
Well, how could you?
it probably didn't matter.
How could you cut through that?
Yeah, no, you can't.
All right, Suze, number 3.
Oh, number 3. I have to think about it. Actually, I think that probably when I saw Graham Nash, it was I was working that show, and Crosby. I grew up on Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, like my father's favorite band. So it was one of the first shows that I fully took over at Ridgefield. It was one of the bigger shows, first big show I did. And I got my parents tickets. So my parents were like sitting up at me at the balcony. And most of them had the same road manager, and it's like the coolest old dude ever.
Yeah.
Like, he's so chill. He gives you the set list. He gives a brief, like, hey, this is what this song is. Like, just lets you have fun, do whatever. And at the end of the show, the last song they played was Teach Your Children. Which I started tearing up
Being
a little
there
bit.
with your parents.
I did. Well, that was also the moment I decided that was going to be my father-daughter dance at my wedding.
Man.
Nice, right
on. Jason and I were not even engaged yet.
But you know.
But like, it was a moment of like one of the first times I ever thought about having a wedding.
Yeah.
And then like I was talking to the road manager. I was like, hey, my dad's was up in the balcony. I started tearing up. He's like, dude, bring your dad down. And my dad, I was like, first of all, he likes to talk, so I was trying to pull him away from talking to random people. And I'm like, Dad, come with me.
Yeah, I've got a surprise. You really don't want to miss this.
He's like, yeah, you know, but I'm like, Dad, come with me.
Yeah.
And so Graham Nash comes out and he talks, has like a short little conversation with my dad.
Wow.
And that's, so like, yeah. And it's also when my father finally stopped pushing me towards Broadway.
Nice.
It's like, hey, you know what? This thing you gotta get here. Yeah.
This is okay.
I like the perks.
I also like these bands.
Yeah.
Yes.
So would you say he's like a mob wife in that way? It's like, I don't approve, but I'll get the benefits.
I mean, basically. But yeah,
All right.
it was awesome.
My number 3, it was Red Hot Chili Peppers and Foo Fighters.
Nice.
Wow.
In 99.
Nice.
Right after Californication came out.
Nice.
So it was like Foo Fighters were opening at that point, so they hadn't really hit their stratosphere, of where they are. And it was at the Meadows, in music theater, and it was with my older brother and his friends, high school. So I was like, the younger brother was getting to hang out with the older guys, and I felt really cool about that. Awesome lineup too, but it was just one of those things of feeling like you're part of the cool crowd.
Yeah.
And I ate some mushrooms in the parking lot. And I was gonna freak out. Some like old hippies came and were trying to sell us mushrooms, and like we didn't buy them. And then one of the guys went to go like walk to the bathroom and saw them getting hassled by the cops, and they threw this McDonald's bag in the trash. And he went and picked up the bag and opened it up, and it was just full of bags of mushrooms. He comes back, he's like, guys, look, and they ate them. And
Oh my God, these chili peppers are red hot.
And then we went in and saw Red Hot Chili Peppers and Foo Fighters. And during the Foo Fighters, there was like, in the front area in like the orchestra pit, you could see somebody like, I don't know how they got it in, but they were passing like a bong, and like it went up and then down, and then Dave Grohl's like, I smell some good shit down there, and he like jumped down, and then you see a cloud of smoke go up, and then he jumps back on stage. We're like, did he just hit a bong? Like, what was that?
It's amazing.
So it was, just one of these, like, this is what rock and roll is all about.
Yeah.
And then that was before, Chili Peppers put out a bad album. So seeing them
Couple of them, yeah.
live with Californication. I like it, but they change into a different thing. But that was just
Californication was
both those bands were at a pretty good peak at that point.
Yeah.
Not that the Foo Fighters really did that bad after, but it was just seeing them as an opening act. It's like you could tell they wanted it more. And it was they weren't like the resident presiding grand poobahs of rock and roll that they are now because they hadn't quite. I guess.
That's awesome.
I mean, Dave
else
was.
fell
I
off.
never knew that. That's cool.
Yeah. So Foo Fighters, Red Hot Chili Peppers. That was my number 3.
Who you got, Jesse? Number 3.
Number 3, Black Crows at Gathering the Vibes.
How amazing was that?
I almost put Black Crows on mine.
This was absolutely, obviously one of the best concerts I've ever been to.
Yeah.
I want to say, though, I wanted to include a lot of shows from Gathering the Vibes because I've seen so many bands there, from Toots and the Maytals to Dr. John to Levon Helm, Wilco. I've seen so many of my favorite bands there, and it's always been a great thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm really bummed about that. But this day was, I don't know. We'll get into that another time. But Black Crows was sick. I went there with Johnny Chapman, Donnie Piero, Lauren Miller, Johnny's girlfriend. And it was just an incredible time, man. They played, I think it was right off that Before the Cold something. I don't know what the name of that album was, honestly. But it was it was their later albums, and it was just a great, they played the classics. They played, all the good stuff. And
Black Crows are an awesome live band. I've seen them. I almost made my list.
Most rock and roll voice in rock and roll by a mile.
And that was right before they broke up again. So
They just can't get along, those brothers.
no, they hate each other. Yeah. So it was cool. It was
Stop
really,
copying Oasis. Well, I guess it'll be the other way around.
it was an awesome show.
I bet.
That's my number 3.
Do you guys mind if I do my 3 in a row since I kind of have to split? I got to go host
Sure.
open mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you got to get out of here, you got to get out of here.
All right, now number 3 is a satire band, Steel Panther. But it was probably the most fun show I've ever been to be honest. I saw them, my wife Emily took me up to the House of Blues in Boston, and we saw Steel Panther, and I think... No, that was a different show, because I've seen Steel Panther a few times. But first time I saw them, they were playing with a all-female Iron Maiden song, or cover band. That was freaking awesome, too. But yeah, Steel Panther is just, it's Steel Panther. If you haven't heard them, go listen to them. They're basically by far the most talented hair metal band that's ever existed. They just came 20 years late.
Yeah.
But they came out with the glitter, and they've all got fans underneath them, so their hair is all blowing, and it's all satire, but the songs are so friggin' hooky and catchy, man.
Yeah, it's they really want to be doing that seriously, but you can't anymore, so you got to make it a goof.
Yeah, but it's successful.
Yeah, it's great. Cause
if you want a good tune that's catchy as shit to listen to, look up Steel Panther Glory Hole, because that song, it's got the Skid Row harmony chorus, and it's great.
There She Blows is one of my favorites.
Oh, dude, Community Property, and 17 Girls
It's
in a Row.
you hear that album, and it's you can hear oh, that's a Van Halen, oh, that's a Def Leppard,
Yeah.
oh, that's...
A lot of Def Leppard and Skid Row I hear,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty
The harmonies
sure,
are very Def Leppard.
I'm pretty sure Mike and Satchel are the lead singer and lead guitar player from, what was that Van Halen cover band? That was super famous.
Van Hagar?
No. Nice. Atomic Punks.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But my number 2 would have to be 311. I saw them with Ziggy Marley and
Got the
Incubus.
hat on.
Ziggy
Back in the
Marley's
day. I do. I got this
amazing.
at a 311 concert last year. Fresh trucker hat. Covers up my bald spot really nice. I'm crowning. I'm a king. But that was just awesome. Ziggy Marley was great. Sounds exactly like his dad. And
Ziggy Marley's
Ziggy's
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
He's been at my job before too, so I've met him.
Nice.
311 was
He
stellar.
was-
Everybody in 311 is super talented. Their bass player is incredible. Their guitar player, their drummer is a monster. And it's just, I just like reggae mixed with metal.
Yeah. It's a place to go for it.
Not huge on ska, but I do like reggae. So.
And the big reveal, your number 1.
Oh, my number 1 was Rock the Bells in 2007. I saw Rage Against the Machine with Wu-Tang, Cypress Hill, Pharaoh Monk, EPMD, The Roots with Erykah Badu subbing in. Immortal Technique was there. Public Enemy number 1. I probably said a few of them a couple of times. But there was just so many amazing bands. But it was the first time Rage had played an East Coast show in 8 years.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
there was 150,000 people there, and they were all there to see Rage Against the Machine.
yeah, really.
But I was reminded of your story when you were talking about did Dave Grohl just go down and hit a bong?
Yeah.
Cypress Hill, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but they have a giant inflatable Buddha with a giant bowl head on it that holds about 5 pounds of weed, and they just light it up, and the smoke comes pouring out of Buddha's mouth, and everybody there gets faded as fuck.
How are they allowed to do
I
that?
had a picture, but unfortunately those were the days of the flip phone for me, so it's not like you could email it or transfer it so you could text
Yeah, you
it
got a
amongst
little
your
postage
friends. but
stamp that's like, yeah, that's trust me.
I had the phone somewhere. I still have the ticket stub too, because that concert was just amazing. I've always loved Rage Against the Machine. I have a degree in political science. They were very politically charged.
Oh yeah.
And plus, it was probably
And
the best.
smartly too, not
Yeah.
just like gimmicky, like cashing in a trend,
Yeah.
like talking about
Yeah.
deep, like
Those guys
global
all practice
things.
what they preach, and they live their their plight. But like, it was.
we
just,
need them now.
Yes.
I know. Please come back.
Zach, if you're out there.
God, every
What-
one of
what's-
those songs you could apply it to nowadays.
I know.
Like, yes,
Well,
he
they
predicted it.
opened up with Testify, and all you heard were the sirens, and then the guitar like. And I just like. I was with my buddy Matt Pfeiffer and my buddy Ryan Bodan. We just looked around and like there was 150,000 people just bouncing like, and I was like, oh my god! Like,
Yeah.
if they had been like, yo, come on, we're gonna go like kill George W. Bush and Dick Cheney, like a couple of them would have been like, all right, well I gotta check with my wife, but like everybody else was like, all right, let's walk there. Fuck it. Like, you guys gonna play tunes all the time? Like, can we listen to your shit? Like, it was great.
Got a flatbed truck. It's just like,
And I mean, they were on stage for like a solid 2 hours. They played everything.
Yeah.
Everything. And I mean, just not to take away from Wu-Tang or Cypress Hill or anybody else who was there. Like, they were all awesome too. But it was just...
Yeah, you can't compete with that.
I'd always loved Rage Against the Machine. I think they broke up when I was like 13, so of course I wasn't able to get to a concert.
Yeah.
But like, I saw them, I was just like, oh my god, this is it.
yeah, that's
And
good
like,
number one.
Probably the tightest rhythm section in rock and roll by
Oh,
far.
yeah.
Like they're
Brad
just
Wilk.
so. Brad Wilk's a monster. They all are.
Yeah, they're closer to hip hop than rock.
Yeah.
in that way.
Yeah.
So that was your number one.
Yeah. And I'm
So
sorry I have to leave you guys. I
Yes.
just gotta go.
We'll see you
be
soon.
on your
So,
way
yeah.
to continue the music of the area.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yes.
Always a pleasure.
We will see you shortly.
I will see you later.
Yeah. I'll see you over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta move
Yeah,
over.
you can cozy on up to the good spot. So we were at number 2 at this
Two.
point. Two.
Okay. I have to think for a second because it's hard for me. It's weird when you describe like your favorite shows you've been to because for me it's more about the experience that I had than the actual show that was put on.
I agree.
Because like I said, I see thousands of shows and it's
Yeah.
just like once it loses its magic a little bit,
Yeah.
but sometimes the experience is awesome. So I think for number 2, I would have to pick. It was the first concert I ever lit about 8 years ago, and it was G Love and Special Sauce.
Nice.
Ooh, good one.
And I had no clue who they were.
Really? Okay.
Really, I was so nervous, and like luckily their tour manager came up to me and was like, "Don't do anything flashy, not a whole lot of movement." I'm like, "Okay, good, thank God, because I
Yeah.
can't do that yet."
Perfect first lighting
Yeah,
gig.
perfect. But like, I fell in love with their music first of all because they're so tight. They have so much energy on stage,
Yeah.
and it was just like fun. It was a fun crew and a fun band, and it was just like. It reinforced my decision of the career path I was making.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, it's important that you get inspired by what's going on stage, and you want to be like
Yes.
further involved in it. You know, that's what makes a show impactful. If,
Oh, yeah.
if the people on stage can make you feel something that you don't feel on many other occasions, like that's the definition.
Did
to
he
me
do
of a show.
cold beverage?
What's that?
Did he do cold beverage? I like cold beverage.
Yes.
Oh man, that dude's just so like cool, man.
He is. He's a cool ass dude.
Yeah, he
like
is.
he was hanging out backstage, and I was just so nervous and everything, so I didn't talk to anybody. But like, he was interacting with everybody,
Oh, yeah, I
and
can
just
imagine.
being a really cool. Those are my favorite shows to work because you also like. I've lost interest in some bands because I've seen them play and I've seen how they treated their crew, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But most of the time it's at least with my job they're down to earth people, they're cool people, and it's really awesome to see.
Well, that's even more special when a band is not only talented in playing but like good
Yes.
people. Because then it's
Yes.
like, oh, I really want to support you now.
Yeah.
Because some people can be really talented but not that cool, and you're like, oh, I like your music, but I kind of have to question some things now.
I kind of count like that with B-52s.
Yeah.
Like, I loved their music. Loved
Really? I
it.
wouldn't expect them to be like trashy to their people.
They're not trashy, but like,
Yeah, I don't want to put words in.
Trashy. You suck.
just very much,
Like the B-51.
just a little prima donna-ish.
Yeah.
Because it was also, it was at a.
You mean post-Madonna?
well, that's what you would think. But they just like they weren't mean or bad. It was just they kind of had an attitude of like
Yeah.
I'm better than you, and it rubbed me the wrong way, and it made me sad.
Yeah, Love Shack isn't that good.
Yeah, that's exactly where it
I like their
went.
Simpsons version better. Glove slap. That was a great episode.
So my number 2, 9 Inch Nails. This was a concert that me and my 2 brothers, I have an older and younger brother, we went to. It was up in Massachusetts. My younger brother went to UMass, and they were going to be playing at the basketball stadium there, whatever. Not indoor stadium, wasn't like a big thing, but they were going to be playing there. We went for a day of snowboarding, and we were going to go see, but the concert was canceled.
No.
I guess Trent Reznor was sick, and it was this thing like it was like a very like I never do this, but I'm so sorry. Everybody have to cancel. We found out, as we were standing around, like why are the doors opening, and it got canceled. I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. And then it was rescheduled. So because it was a rescheduled one, I think they're really trying to make up for the canceled one, and it was just like all cylinders firing, amazing show. They have the whole big shark's tooth scrim that goes around the stage. It gets filled up with smoke, and then they project on it. Then it opens up, and then
that's
like
really
pours
cool.
out. And like they were right on point. And Trent actually like stopped at a point in the show. I was like, I don't normally do this, but I'm going to talk to you guys for a little bit because I'm really sorry about canceling this show, and I never talked to you. And so it was like a little like acknowledgement thing, but it was the most also physically exhausting show I've ever been to because everyone was just pushing up to get to the stage because it's standing room, and like you could literally like lift your feet up and you'd be held up. I lost both my shoes in the mosh pit, put on somebody else's left shoe, was walking out after the show, saw somebody with my other shoe, was like, hey, you have my shoe, and traded, and I didn't have his, but it was just one of these like brutally but so fulfilling shows where when they stopped and did some of the slower like instrumental songs, we're like, thank you. Oh, we needed that break. Like, just don't go into March of the Pigs yet. So very memorable because it was a canceled, then rescheduled, and then just the energy that was in there, and that music is just so intense live, and a great band, even beyond the albums. Good live band to see because they get the theatrics too.
See,
so.
I love shit like that.
Yeah.
My number 2, Kings of Leon at the Apple Store.
Ooh.
In 2000.
You are so hipster.
So this was kind of like a thing that was kept low key, I guess, somehow. We heard about it.
Was it in the Danbury Apple Store?
No. This was in, I believe, Soho.
Of course it was.
Yeah, it was. But it was so weird. It was like right after Because of the Times came out, and that was kind of their launching into like success. But they were still playing the old stuff that I was like, into of Youth and Young Manhood, Nah Shake Heartbreak. So we were put into this Apple Store. We were waiting in line. I think it was like a first come first serve kind of thing. So we got down there early, and we got in, and I think there was. I want to tell you that there was probably only about 200 people in there. Wow. And we were in this Apple Store, and I could literally, like, lean up and, like, touch, like, one of the members. Like, we were right there. And it was so awesome because me and my friends had been following them all throughout high school. Like, they were our rock and roll band, that was what we listened to every day. And just to see them that, like...
Intimate experience.
Yeah,
intimate,
like that,
so
up close. And it was really good. They put on a great show for, like... They had great energy for playing in an Apple Store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they really treated it like, they embraced the intimate performance, but they also still let out that rock and roll kind of.
Probably gives you a better appreciation too when you're not like separated by all this distance from a band. Because it's one thing, because sometimes it seems like you're almost like watching a movie,
right?
Where like they're there on stage and you're like kind of,
I've
you're
seen
not
them
really.
Several times too. Like I saw them at Radio City, and that was like a much like you're saying, like
you see them from so
spectacle.
far away.
Yeah. I saw them at Bonnaroo one year and waited in like 4 hours of heat. Yeah. And then like their like set, like their something malfunctioned in the sound, and they like walked off stage, made a big deal about it. Then they came back.
The pigeons pooped on them.
I don't know, man. I don't think so, but it was they
Yeah.
kind of like I thought it was kind of like a gimmick. Like
Caleb was drunk.
Yeah, but it was a cool concert, and it was definitely an intimate experience for sure.
That's awesome.
Your number one.
All right. So first, before I do my number one, I have to do a quick shout out to one show that I worked, and I was working, but I wasn't running things during the show, so I got to watch it. And it was Musical Box at my job at the Richfield Playhouse, and it was a Genesis cover. And they did everything on point with Genesis, like lights, costume. They had these rear projections. I'm amazed they fit it on our tiny stage.
Wow. Do you have the fox mask?
Yes.
The early
And he had
Peter
this
Gabriel.
flower thing.
Yeah,
like it was
weird
insane. Like so that was a really fun one to watch.
Yeah.
But my top show going to, again, it probably has more to do with the experience than the band, but it was when I saw Misfits at the Chance in Poughkeepsie.
Nice.
Two Fisted Law was opening up for them. Jason and I had just started going out,
Yeah.
and I've always loved the Misfits. I saw them the year before when Two Fisted Law opened for them, and they had a killer female opener, and I think they put on a good show. I really like it, and it's fun. It's a lot of energy. But there was a moment in the show where they're playing Skulls, and Jason and I are bashing our heads together. And I don't think we were quite official yet, but it was one of those
You were
moments.
unofficially official.
Yes. I mean, it was just
They may have done it.
It was, pretty much.
Bash your
just
skulls together. That's when you know. It's more than
screaming-
Facebook official.
Yeah, screaming, I want your skulls while bashing our heads together.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be one of my favorites.
Yeah, what could top that? You know? And so when music brings people together, isn't that like so much of a testament to the power of music? Why it's so important? Is
Exactly.
That when you bond with somebody over music, it's even more of a impact of.
And then Jason ended up proposing to me to that song.
Yeah, it all comes around. That is a great number one concert.
Yeah.
My number one, Rain Wolf. So not that well known, but here's the backstory. I had found Rain Wolf. It's kind of like, is it a guy? Is it a band? Like it's both. But he was a solo artist who used to play guitar and do like the one kick drum thing, very like energetic blues rock guitar stuff. And then he got a band around him, and I'd seen him on KEXP, which is that out of Seattle. It's a station. They do these studio performances, and I saw that in one of these YouTube suggestions. I'm like, this is amazing. I loved it. And I was looking for shows, and like, he's not touring, not around. And then all of a sudden, I found after a few months, like a kind of like surprise show where it was going to be at this little place in Brooklyn. And it was like $10. I'm like, yes, I'm going. It's a Sunday night, but I'm going. And we went there, and it was like lightning in a bottle is the only way I can explain it. This little place, not much, the stage was like about the size of this room, not much bigger. And it just was so like tight and electric. And he was, coming out into the crowd and again breaking that fourth wall. And you couldn't, like, the audience was about to like burst. Just his energy was like nothing I ever experienced. And I've never been to a show that felt that like real and raw and also like dangerous in a way, because people were jumping around. My girlfriend at the time, but wife now, she got her glasses like kicked off by someone's boots, and everybody stopped and like helped her search for her glasses. And it was just one of these experiences. I've never been at a show where there was that much involvement between the performer and the audience, and everyone felt like they were in it together. I'm like, I thought this was done in the 90s. I didn't think this happened. I thought I missed it. Yeah. So it just gave me that charge of like, okay, people really care about like this gritty rock and roll, and that, it's not about the spectacle, it's about the experience.
Yeah.
So that was my number one. I saw him again after that at the Bowery, and it was, how is he going to recreate that? And he did in spades. He was crowd surfing and playing his guitar while getting passed around. His whole, he's more about the spectacle of the show. But the live show that I got from seeing, I felt like this must have been what it felt like for people to see Jimi Hendrix for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I felt. So he was an incredible guitar player, performer, and just the energy in the room. Again, as you said, it's not necessarily like my favorite albums to listen to, or whatever, but the energy of the performance is what made me go, wow. Like, I was like changed, like buzzing after that. Like, who is this? I gotta do this. And I met him after that. accidentally, because we were like, okay, show's ending, and I saw these people with like cameras who were going out this side door. So I told Shannon, my wife, that hey, let's go out, beat the crowd out to the front. We go, and all of a sudden, I'm standing right in front of them, like, oh, hi, I guess we're backstage. And I was like, I'm so glad you exist. I'm so happy to see you. He's like, hey, man, did I play with you in Saskatoon before? I was like, oh, no. I was like gushing, and like I couldn't believe that I was meeting him. And it was one of these things a small, not that well-known artist that I loved from watching videos that I'm suddenly like able to talk to, and it made me feel like, oh, this stuff's still real and going on. And so that was, that's number one for me.
That's
for
awesome.
all of those reasons of that. Connecting with the rock and roll energy.
My number one, Mars Volta at the Palladium. This was my first concert. I was 16 and went there with a buddy and this girl, and it was absolutely mind-blowing, life-changing, ridiculous. This was right after the Deloused and Comatorium album, and then I think I think this was right after Francis the Mute, which was kind of like their second album. But it was 3 hours of just straight music. They didn't stop playing. It was one of the most high energy shows I've ever been to. Like, I didn't even see them drink water. Like, they just...
That's endurance.
Like, I don't understand it, because, like, their music is super upbeat and, like, constantly... I mean, there's, like, changes and jam sequences that they put in there, and it was... Yeah, for a first concert, it still is yet to be topped, in my opinion, of just the high energy and the incredible musicianship of that band. I mean, John Theodore is my favorite drummer out there. He plays with Queens of Stone Age now, but he changed my life. Like, watching these musicians, idolizing these guys, it was definitely the best concert I've ever been to.
That's insane.
Awesome. So that wraps
That's
up
really
our
cool.
top 5 concerts in preparation for Oddstock. Oddstock's going to top them all after this.
Obviously.
So make sure you get your tickets ahead of time.
August 22nd?
August 23rd and 24th.
23rd and 24th.
Friday and Saturday.
Look it up on Facebook, Instagram. Give those again just so people know what the...
Facebook, we have Oddstock Charitable Music Festival. And Instagram is Oddstock _charity _fest. I think Lance changed it on it, so I don't remember.
You look up Oddstock Festival, you'll probably find it.
Yeah.
If you search that, it'll turn up. So please come out to Oddstock, check out the local musicians and vendors, and donate to a good cause.
Absolutely.
Any final words you want to say to people about what's going on with that, or just in general, just philosophies on life, or
Just be odd, be nice.
ooh, be out, be nice.
That's pretty much it. Come enjoy Oddstock.
I like it.
All right.
All right. Thank you all for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Love you all. Next stage out.
Don't even try.